Next, this whole situation to me showed more about Jenn than it did about Sam M. Jenn continues to give this man chance after chance after chance, and it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, hi everyone, my name is Demetri and welcome back to DemetriTube, The Bachelorette, Night 6. Let's talk about it. As always, if you're enjoying my videos, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. I'm a growing YouTuber and like subscribes really help me out. Just a heads up, I probably will not have a lot of graphics in this video. My job is like really hectic right now, so I just don't have as much time this week to do the video editing. And just one quick thing before we get started, it's like a little bit of Bachelor Nation news. So Kelsey's hot dad, Mark, is gonna be part of the cast of The Golden Bachelorette coming this fall. So just a heads up, I think ABC is really setting it up for Mark to be the next Golden Bachelor. Like, that's just what I think. I don't even understand why they put him on the cast of her season. Like, they should have just made him the next Bachelor, because I think that's what they're going to do anyway. But maybe they just want to give him more of a storyline before making him the Bachelor. I don't know. The only problem that I see is that Mark is just possibly way too young. So Mark is 57 and this is supposed to be the Golden Bachelor. When they first started casting and looking for a Golden Bachelor, they were looking for someone 65 and older, and Gary, the first Golden Bachelor, I think is 72. And like, if they cast Mark as the next lead, we're kind of losing the plot here. I'm pretty sure Golden Years is supposed to be like older retirement years, so like 65 and up. And yes, you could argue that Mark is close enough, but the problem is with casting contestants. Mark is hot, and if he ends up being the next lead, I'm pretty sure contestants would sign up to be on the show that are in their late 40s and early 50s, and at that point, we're losing the plot. This is supposed to be Golden, and now we have contestants that are in their late 40s. That's not Golden Years, and that's not even close to Golden Years, but you have to keep in mind, whenever they have the lead, there's gonna be contestants that are older than the lead, and likely contestants that are younger too. Anyways, that's all I got. Let's dive into the episode. The episode starts, and we are finally back in America. We're in Seattle, Washington. And yep, it's that time, out for the episode. Right off the jump, Jenn gives us the outfit. Jenn serves us a long black trench coat, and underneath she's wearing this like dark red sweater dress, and then she pairs it with some knee-high boots. The boots have, again, the cowboy effect on the top, and then they're kind of wrinkly. And not only that, she pairs the outfit with a half moon necklace. She looks absolutely amazing. At first, I thought this was an all black fantasy, but upon closer look, the dress is actually like a dark red, but her entrance just looks so good. I love an all black fantasy, and that's what I thought this was initially. And I don't know, this outfit is just such a slay. It feels very Seattle to me. I just really like it. And for that, her Seattle entrance look got outfit of the episode. During the intro, not much happened, but there was just a couple of things I want to mention. So Jenn has a one-on-one with Charity, one of the previous leads, and during the one-on-one, Jenn says, "Sam reminds me of my previous exes." Again, just another major red flag. This man continues to give her red flags, and I guess she just kind of ignores them. But also, this may be foreshadowing what's going to happen later in the episode. Next, Jenn also says that Marcus is holding back from being vulnerable. Next, the contestants stay at the Kimpton Hotel Monaco, and I'm going to a wedding this weekend at the Kimpton Hotel Monaco. So, and it looks really nice. Like, I'm excited to go. And not the one in Seattle, like, I guess it's like a chain, and there's one closer to me and where they're having the wedding, but I'm excited to stay. And if you've ever been to Seattle, let me know below in the comments, how is it? Because I've heard Seattle is like not all that. And like, I reviewed I think it was season 5 of Love is Blind. They were in Seattle, and they would do like drone shots of the city, and like the city looked so dry. Like, I can't explain it. It just didn't look exciting. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's a gorgeous city, but I feel like pretty much all of those West Coast cities are like gorgeous cities that just have amazing views. Like when I went to San Fran, the views were just insane. You just get views there that you don't really get on the East Coast. But anywho, I feel like I would rather go to Vancouver over Seattle, and I think they're very close, but Let me know below in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. And last thing I want to say about the intro, I also really liked Jeremy's sweater. He was giving us like llama tees in that oversized sweater. I kind of want to DM him and be like, where'd you get that sweater? Next, if you made it this far in the video, please go ahead and pound that like button for the YouTube algorithm. After that, we get a one-on-one with Marcus, and Jen served us the exact same outfit that she had in the intro. It was just a different color scheme, and she wore a chain necklace instead of the half moon necklace. And for the date, Jen gives Marcus a Letterman jacket to wear for the date. And like, I did not understand the relevance of that. Like, why did she give him a Letterman jacket? If anyone knows Wicked, did that have something to do with Wicked? I don't know the full story behind Wicked, so maybe it has to do with that, but I don't think it does. So for the date, it's a Wicked inspired date because the new movie Wicked is dropping in the fall. Wicked is like, it started as a musical or something. Just a heads up, I don't know that much about it. All I know is that it's like the prequel to The Wizard of Oz or something. I guess it's the story of how like the bad witch became the bad witch or something. And also Ariana Grande is gonna be in it, but still that is not enough for me to go watch it. Y'all, I am a hater. I do not like musicals. I literally watched Mean Girls, the musical, the other day, and I hated it. And the only reason I watched it was just because I loved the original Mean Girls so much that I just had to watch the new version of it. But like, I'm like, why did y'all turn this into a musical? I wish it stayed a comedy. Anyways, for the date, they follow this like yellow brick road and do various activities, and they're guided by Daisy and Kelsea, two of the contestants from Joey's season, Charity, one of the previous Bachelorette leads, and Krista, I believe she was the lead on season 1 of the Bachelorette. They get to take a trolley, they eat some hot peppers, they have a pillow fight, but they also have a makeout session during the pillow fight, and like, I don't think I would have liked to do that. I'm not a huge fan of PDA in a public place unless it's like, if it's a nightclub, like, okay, whatever. But anywhere else, like during the day in like an outdoor market like this, like I don't love that. I'm okay with like a peck or a small smooch, but not like a full-blown makeout session. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know. Let me know how what y'all thought about that in the comments. And then at one point they open a box and one says fast and one says slow. And Jen says she likes to move things along fast and Marcus likes to move things along slow. And I think this is like foreshadowing something in their relationship that's going to happen on a later episode. And they also got to pop balloons, and inside the balloons they got to talk about some things that were meaningful to them. And they finished the date with a hot air balloon ride. But this wasn't a full hot air balloon ride because the trucks never let the balloon go. So I think it was like kind of like a half one. But overall, this was an amazing date. I really liked it. It was fun. It was also very cheesy, but I really liked it aside from how cheesy it was. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that this date was Wicked inspired, so ABC clearly had to do things that were relevant to Wicked, but like, that's really hard to do, because again, I don't know what Wicked is about. Like, I consider myself the average person. I have no idea what Wicked is about, and after watching that date, I still am not sure what Wicked is about. And ABC does movie-inspired group dates like all the time, but this one was interesting because they clearly struggled to like do something on brand with the film. Like, if y'all remember during Michelle Young's season, they had a date inspired by what was that movie about the airplanes, and like Tom Cruise was in it, and the guy from Insecure, Top Gun. They had a Top Gun inspired date. They went to like an airline hangar and practiced being pilots. Like, that was really easy branding. And then like on Charity season, they had the Barbie date, which they gave the guys costumes and you immediately knew it was Barbie. But for Wicked, I'm guessing it's really tough. Like, it's tough to give them something and be like, oh, this is Wicked. And then after that, we move on to the night portion. Marcus and Jen go to T-Mobile Park, and I do not love Jen's dress during this portion. It just looked a little too 80s to me. She was wearing this pink gown and it was like pretty asymmetrical on the top. It reminded me of like rocker vibes, but it looked too 80s prom for me. I just didn't like it. During the night portion, Marcus opens up to Jen and he tells her that him and his sister were fostered. His parents were like not the most stable and not very fit, and they dropped him and his sister off at daycare and they just never came back, and that always made him feel like there was something wrong with him. Marcus ends up getting the rose. They see fireworks, and I got all the feels during this date. Like, during the night portion, I just felt so good watching this date. I don't know, it just gave me the feels. But also at the same time, after watching this date, I was just like, dang, Jenn is gonna break this man's heart. Like, I really don't think she's gonna choose him. And I'm gonna give my prediction of who I think is gonna win at the end of the video when I go over the top 4, because this episode just had like a lot of big upsets. After that, we move on to the group date. And for the group date, the guys go to iHeartRadio, the show with Jubal and Bender. It's Love on Air Seattle. And they're also joined by Jason and Molly Mesnick. Don't quote me on this, but Jason was a lead like a long time ago, and his season was like a big deal because I think he chose someone, and then like on the finale he ended up being like, never mind, I actually meant to choose someone else, or something along those lines happened. I didn't watch his season. It was like before I started watching. So I really did not like this date. ABC just be so behind the curve sometimes. Like, let's be real, y'all. Radio is dead. Like, seriously, what are we doing? ABC should have just found a popular podcast and talked to them. And I'm not saying like go on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, there's tons of mid-tier podcasts out there that I'm sure would have worked fine. The only problem is they just couldn't spoil the top 4. Anyways, so for the day, Jubal, Bender, Molly, and Jason asked the contestants like random questions, and because Sam M does so poorly answering the questions, they give him more time to answer the questions more poorly. And while Sam gets an opportunity to answer more questions, all the other contestants get to watch. And Spencer was so annoyed at this. Like, it was so funny.
I'm with Jen, and we get pulled into a room where we get the distinct pleasure of watching it on a screen.
And quick sidebar about Spencer. Spencer is a great guy, but I think he may be a little bit of a meathead. And before this date even started, we all knew Sam was not good with words, but now he gets the opportunity to just go in more circles and circles.
How was your first impression of me, and how has that changed over time?
And Sam M gives a terrible answer. He says something that has absolutely nothing to do with Jen, and says that Jen is not his type. He thought the lead was going to be Daisy or Maria, but he trusts the process and aspires to be a husband and father, and says his love language is physical touch. And it becomes even more clear that he just wants to take Jen to the fantasy suites. And also, he's just not the brightest guy. Then we move on to the night portion, and I absolutely loved Jen's hair during the night portion. Her makeup and her jewelry also looked good. I really liked her dress too, but we didn't get like a full view of it. I wish we actually got a full look at the dress when she was standing, because this could have been up for outfit of the episode. And during the night portion, none of the dates really stuck out, but I do want to point out a couple things. First, Grant tells Jen, I see myself with you the rest of my life. I choose you and I'm falling for you. And Jen responds to that with that Matt James face, you know, the one where it's like, thanks for sharing that. Pretty much during the night portion, all the contestants just talked about how much they like Jen, etc. But Devin's one-on-one with Jen was more personal. He says he enjoys the thought of you meeting his family, and he also tells Jen he's falling for her. And then we move on to the one-on-one with Sam M. So many sirens today. Jen is talking to Sam because she's just trying to find answers of like why he truly likes her. Like, Sam continues to say he likes her, but Jen wants to know specifically why. And Sam continues to give terrible answers and go around in circles, and it confuses Jen even further. And at one point, Jen even says, it can't just be a feeling. That's not real love. And shortly after that, Jen tells Sam, we just need more time. And in my head, I'm thinking, babe, we're out of time. We going to hometowns next week. So let's unpack this. First, ABC has turned Sam M into a full-blown villain. So this is just my opinion. Like, feel free to disagree. I don't think Sam is like a bad guy. He's just not the brightest guy, and he's absolutely terrible at expressing his feelings. And if you date him, when it comes to feelings and emotions, he will give you the bare minimum. Next, I said this in a previous review. At this point, Sam M just wants to win and possibly just beat Devin. Like, he cannot give a reason as to why he specifically likes Jen. He just says, I want to feel love, I love you, I want to be a husband, I want to be a father, yada, yada, yada. But he cannot give specific reasons as to why specifically Jen. And at one point, Sam M even says Jen is not his usual type. He thought the lead was going to be Maria or Daisy. And this is just my opinion. A lot of guys have a type, but type is not everything. And most guys are willing to step outside of their type as long as the personality matches. But for Sam M to be this far in the process and to say Jen is not his type, he thought it was going to be Daisy or Maria, just shows he's really not getting to know Jen for her personality. And him saying he trusts the process, he believes he can get there, but at this point he's not there yet. And like this late in the game, it's clear that for Sam it's still surface level, but Jen needs to pick guys where it's more than just surface level. But for Sam, he's not there yet, and he's clearly confused. Next, this whole situation to me showed more about Jen than it did about Sam M. Jen continues to give this man chance after chance after chance, and it's just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, why did she not eliminate Sam M on the spot after that radio date? Like, she should have eliminated him then and there. But she gave him another chance, and as we'll find out later on, she even gives him another chance. This man cannot even give you the bare minimum. He cannot even tell you why he's interested in you, and yet you're still giving him chances. And I think two things are happening here. Jen herself still has some more work to do within herself from her previous toxic relationships. And the second thing is Jen really likes a challenge in a relationship. During the night portion of this date, literally all of the other contestants just told her how amazing she is and how much they love her, want to be with her, yada, yada, yada. Sam was the only one who gave her something different, and she was eating it up. And out of all of the other contestants that are left, to me, the only other contestant that challenges her is Marcus. And Marcus challenges her a little bit, but doesn't do it like too much. And that's why she can't get enough of Sam, and it just took her so long to let him go, because Sam challenges her. These other guys don't really do that. And sorry, y'all, I wasn't sure if I made this clear when I was filming, but in general, Jen just likes to be challenged in a relationship. And I'm not saying Sam is challenging her in a good way, because he's not. She just likes to be challenged, period, and she's really not getting that from the majority of the contestants. After that, we move on to the best date of the night. We get a one-on-one with Jeremy. During the one-on-one, Jen serves us a green jacket with a cream top, a beige pencil skirt, and I did not like this outfit, and let me tell you why. So there were just too many lines. So on the jacket, there were multiple zippers. So there was a zipper in the middle, and then the pockets had very large zippers. So it was giving lines. And then her blouse had a line in the middle, and then her pencil skirt had a zipper in the middle too. And it was just way too many lines. Like, it didn't look too bad, but it was just too busy for me. Like, her blouse should have been like a pullover blouse or like a pullover sweater. And I wish her skirt didn't have that like line zipper in the middle. I wish it was just like flat, because it was just way too many lines and it just looked too busy. Anyways, so for the date, they go to Pike Place Market. He gives her flowers. They throw around fish. They go see a psychic. They dance in the street. It was just like a fun daytime date. And during this date, I fell in love with Jeremy in like 10 minutes. So that probably means Jen does not like him very much. He's very New York. I love his style. And if you follow him on Instagram, I love his song choices. Like, this man is familiar with the culture, and he's also very familiar with hip hop. Like, he posted this picture and then played They Not Like Us by Kendrick. And then he also posted this picture and played the song by Sexy Red, You My Everything, which I love that song. And then we move on to the night portion, and they go to a garden in a glass. I think that's what it's called. And this venue was like absolutely gorgeous. This was a great choice. And when it comes to Jen's outfit, I didn't really get to see all of it. She like sat down really quickly, and we didn't get like a glamorous entrance. The dress looked good from what I saw of it though. During the day, Jeremy and Jen have a one-on-one, and Jeremy tells her he wants someone who's very caring, just like his mom. His mom can be caring almost to a fault. And he also talks about how being Jewish is very culturally important to him, and he wants to raise his children that way as well. He doesn't expect Jen to convert, but he does want to raise his children that way. And Jen also mentions how she would like her kids to grow up with a Buddhist culture as well. And overall, this was just a very adult conversation we don't normally get to see on this show. And what I liked most about this conversation is I just feel like in general, because the divorce rate is just so high, is that a lot of parents nowadays, when they have kids, they don't agree or really talk about how they plan to raise their kids. Like, what do you think about discipline? What religion are they going to be raised with? How often are we going to go to church or synagogue? Yada, yada, yada. Like, a lot of parents don't fully agree and come to terms with how they're going to raise their kids. And the fact that they're like already going over this is just very responsible and very adult. And I just really like seeing this. Having chemistry and liking someone is very important, but also I think it's just as important to figure out how you're going to blend your lives together. And watching them talk about this, I just love seeing it. And at the end of the day, Jeremy ends up getting the rose and he's going to hometowns. And this was possibly the biggest shock of the season so far. Like, going into this episode, after I saw that Jeremy got a one-on-one, I was pretty sure he was gonna go home. And it's funny because Jeremy even posted a meme that said there's 0% chance he's making it to the next round or to hometowns. And Jeremy ended up making it. It was wild. And y'all, I'm trying to think or remember if we've seen something like this. And normally if a contestant never gets a one-on-one and then they get a one-on-one this late in the game, they usually go home. So for Jeremy not to go home was definitely a huge shock. Then we move on to the rose ceremony cocktail party. And before the cocktail party starts, Jen beelines it to the guy's house and she wants to have a conversation with Sam M. This is very much a surprise for us as an audience, and it's a surprise for all the other contestants. And in general, this is just very unorthodox. So she tries to get to the bottom of this whole situation and she asks Sam even further questions and she gives him another chance. And I'm just like, girl, why do you keep giving this man chances? He cannot even give you the bare minimum and you're giving him yet again another chance for him to give you the bare minimum. And he can't even do that. And like I said before, Jen just enjoys the challenge that she has with Sam M. Also, it is eating her up that she is about to eliminate this man right before fantasy suites. Like, her mind is telling her no, but her body is saying yes, and she is struggling to eliminate this man. So she keeps giving him chances. And she finally ends up eliminating Sam. He tried to answer the questions, but he gave horrible answers. And just in general, it just seems like with Sam, the lights are on and just no one is home. And also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but there's also like two possible things that are happening with Sam. Sam is either just not ready for this or he's not ready for her. And the second thing is he may be like hyper aware of the cameras. Like, at moments, I got the feeling that he was just super worried about saying something dumb on camera instead of where he should have just been himself. Like, in a lot of these moments, I felt like he was trying to say like, oh, what would like the Bachelor thing be to say, instead of like just being himself. And I think it's just because he didn't want to look dumb on camera, but in the end, he ended up looking dumb on camera anyway. So then we go to the rose ceremony and we get our final four. It is Marcus, Jeremy, Devin, and Jonathan. And this was the next big upset because Jen eliminated the two tallest guys left in the competition. Usually on The Bachelorette, them tallies be staying till the end, but she eliminated both of them. And like I've been telling y'all earlier in the season, I knew she was going to eliminate Grant right before hometowns. And what does she do? She eliminates Grant right before hometowns. And then during Spencer's exit, he's like crying and he calls his mom and starts crying. And let me know below in the comments what y'all thought of that. Like, that to me just seemed very mama's boy. Like, personally, I would have cried in the Uber XL by myself with the producer, and I would have waited until I was off camera at the airport to like call my mom and cry, but maybe I'm weird. What did y'all think of that? Let me know below in the comments. And out of this top four, who do y'all think is gonna win? Let me know below in the comments. Y'all, I have no idea who she's gonna pick, but if I had to guess, like, I think it's Jonathan. And a lot of you in the comments have been rooting for Jonathan and saying she's gonna pick Jonathan. And out of what we have left, I think that's who she's gonna pick. So if she picks Jeremy, I would genuinely be shocked. Like, he would be a dark horse, like, who comes to get the win. And I don't really see that happening. And then, like I said earlier in the video, I think Marcus, I just have this feeling she's just gonna break that man's heart. So I don't think he's gonna win either. And then I just don't really see Devin winning either. So like, that just leaves Jonathan, and I feel bad because I'm predicting Jonathan just because that's all we have left. And no matter who she picks at the end, I do not think it's going to work out long term for her. And that is the end of the review and the end of this video. If you enjoyed this review, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.